Hello, hello, hello. Oh, Lord. Hold on. I'm getting some feedback. Let me see. There we go. What is up, everybody? It's your girl, Savon, and you're tuned into I'll Grab the Wine. I'll Grab the Wine is a show for the girls and the gals who sometimes need a little wine to say what's on their mind. Here we celebrate success, blackness, and womanhood. So grab a glass and listen fast, and I'll grab the wine. You guys, I thought we were going to have a little visitor. It was going to be a little mini visitor, a little bitty feet. I know you hear him. See, he'll pop in and say hi. It would have been all right because we would have kept the show going. But what's up, everybody? Sisters, how y'all feel? Brothers, y'all all right? We're going to have a really good show today. I already know it. I feel it. But first things first, we're going to shout out our sponsors. So shout out to our sister company, Say My Name Media. Are you looking to increase your online presence? Be sure to check out Say My Name Media for all your graphic, web design, photography, and videography needs. Shop Face Off Boutique, where everything on the site is $30 or less. That's beauty on a budget. www.faceoffboutique.com. Could you see your product on I'll Grab the Wine? Contact us today with advertising with Complete. www. Oh man, did y'all lose me? Did I lose y'all? Hold on. Oh man. Okay, I can't see y'all on my computer because somebody called me.
But you didn't see fit to let none of these things be. I cook red beans, and you know how to play.
So what she talking to you? Still going?
Hello, hello, hello. I can't
Oh, can you
hear.
hear me? You can't see me. Hold on. All right, hold on, because I'm really having technology problems today.
Girl, it happens to all of us.
I've done a whole intro for you and you haven't heard a thing. That is
Not a word.
crazy.
I'm sure it was great.
Oh my gosh, it was a beautiful story. Hold on, let me see why I'm not on here. Um,
I was like, I can't hear her. I don't know what's going on.
Somebody ended up calling my phone and it messed up the camera that I was feeding into, and I guess it messed up the audio and everything as well. I'm like, oh my God, why?
Yeah, because you were great before that. Yeah, you were great.
Okay, here we
I
go.
can't wait to I can't wait to meet our little friend.
Listen, okay, so he's back where he belongs. Am I? I'm really not on here right now. Start camera. All right, here we go. I'm a little fuzzy because I had to use my webcam, you guys, but I am here nonetheless. Here we go. All right. So typically, I like to tell people about who I'm talking to before. So I'll tell that story. I told it to my imaginary audience that was on my phone that obviously wasn't hooked up to here. But you guys, so the way I like I said, I love to tell about how I meet people. So I was working with my professor turned homegirl, Jay Jones. Shout out to Jay So Famous. And she was working on a blog, a project. It was called Hip Hop Below the Line. And we were supposed to be watching this show and like tweeting about it and blogging about it. And this artist, his name was Nilly, was on there. And everybody that was in our blog group or collective, they knew him except for me. And so they was like, oh, you need to meet Nilly. That's why we're watching to support him. And I'm like, okay. So I meet him. He is absolutely just amazing. He's so talented. And I was so happy to like be able to talk to him and start building my own relationship outside of the group with him. So then he finds out that I have this show and he was like, can I send people to you to be on the show? I was like, yes, that would be amazing. And so then he tosses me you. And then I said, who is this? Like, she is so amazing. She's so beautiful. Like, she responded quickly. Like, who is this? I was like, he was like, oh, she's somebody. And then I said, oh, okay, all right. And then I was like, well, she's going to be on my show. I was like, are you going to tune in? Because you sent me her. And he was like, of course, she's my mom. And I was like, I would not have given you that a day in my life or his. I would not have given you that. Not some period. But I'm glad he sent me you. So then I started checking out your page and I was like, there's nobody else that I'd like to have on in January. And the reason, all right, so we're not gonna do this today, computer. It's just not gonna happen. We're not gonna keep having these mishaps. So yes, and that's how I found out about you. So could you tell everybody about you and what you do and how to find you?
Yes. Well, hello, my name is Sherelle Reed, and I'm your Bloom strategist. So I'm the founder of the Blooming Effect. And when I think of blooming, it's all about overcoming life's obstacles and showing up as your best self in the world on the path from present to purpose, because we're all headed somewhere. But oftentimes we allow our adversities to shackle us from getting there rather than to push us through. So I'm here to empower, to educate, and to just let you know that you can use your adversity, those hard things you don't want to talk about, those things you don't want to revisit. You can use them as fuel to push you where you're going rather than to disqualify you, if you would. And so what else did you ask me? Where can I be found?
Yes.
Sherelle Reed on Instagram, Sherelle Alexander Reed, and over in Facebook. Definitely, you can go to SherelleAReed.com for my coaching and my motivation and things of that nature. I'm just here. I'm just a vessel that God used to encourage, to inspire, and to educate, because there was a time in my life when I needed it. And there were people who took out the time to inspire me when I didn't know where I needed to go. So I want to pay it forward. So my life is to inspire and empower and to educate. I also have a nonprofit organization called Find Your Resilience that empowers women to learn from their past, live every day to the fullest in pursuit of purpose. And so that's just a little bit about me. But at the end of the day, I'm your girl next door, just here to let you know that I'm your biggest cheerleader. You can do it. Yeah, you did that. You can still do it. Yeah, you made that mistake. You can do it. Yeah, you knew it was a mistake and you still did it. Guess what? You can do it. That happened to you. You can still do it.
Mm-hmm.
There's purpose in you. The fact that you can inhale and exhale means that there's purpose in you. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Yes, I think that was a great intro, y'all. And of course, y'all know today we will be talking about push. And the reason we're talking about push, which means pray. Oh, no. We're going to get into that a little bit later. We're going to define it and everything. But the reason we're going to be talking about push is because we are still in January, y'all. And we're talking about goals and how to get at it and how to make this year our year, okay? And so we're going to be talking with our accountability partners because that's all we are on this show is accountability partners. It's important to remember our spirit in all of what we do. If you needed a reminder to put some work behind that faith, tonight is the night for you, homegirl. So let's get it. So the questions we'll be answering today they're along the lines of how to get your faith up and ready and going and pushing through all of your obstacles and everything that you go through. So first things first, I'd like to discuss what is push, Push.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, good. It's an acronym. PUSH stands for pray until something happens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Pray until something happens. Now, we all, we grow up and we're taught, of course, the Lord's Prayer and we're taught things. But the perspective I want to give when you pray, you have to pray with intention. You have to pray as a conversation with God because that's what prayer is. Prayer is a conversation with God. Have you ever called someone on the phone and just was talking but just disregarded that they were there?
Mm-hmm.
Or that they were listening? We don't do that, right? So it shouldn't be like that with God. We shouldn't pray out of repetition or just practice, but we should realize that every time we open our mouth in prayer, that we are having an actual conversation with a true and a living God. And so pray until something happens. We keep praying. We keep asking. Just like a child. Mom, I want some candy. No. Mom, I want some candy. No. Mama, eventually, mama is gonna reward you and give you the desires of your heart. And so God is like that like that also. So the word says that if we seek ye first the kingdom of God and all of his righteousness, that everything will be added to us. So
Mm-hmm.
I say that first, we have to understand that prayer is an actual conversation. It's not just, repetition. God is real. He's there for us. He created us. He had our purpose in mind when he created us. But
Mm-hmm.
he's not going to violate your will.
Mm-hmm.
So he wants you to come to him, ask him for what you want. So when we push, we're taking that intentional, that deliberate step, right, to connect with an almighty God, believing that he has our best interests at heart. Now, I always tell God, look, if I'm asking for something that you don't think I should have, don't give it to me now.
See, and see, and here's the thing. Okay, so first, I forgot to make this disclaimer. Y'all know on my show that as for me and my house, I will serve the Lord. So if this is something that doesn't really align with you this week, then come back next week and definitely we'll pick up the conversation from there. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. That's my disclaimer, one. And then two, for whatever you do believe in, I don't feel like this isn't a conversation for you because
Right.
whatever you believe in, whatever it looks like to you, whatever it walks like, talks like, feels like to you, we're in essence all talking about the same thing. So just be mindful and don't leave this conversation without feeling your spirit first. So yeah, I just wanted to make that little disclaimer. But you actually answered like the very first question, like beautifully. I couldn't have said anything better myself. Pray until something happens. And I think the main thing that I really wanted to add on is that we'll talk about it later because we're gonna get into the deep questions. So the next question I have for you is, how important is faith when taking on any new path or starting a different journey?
Everything. I'll say everything, because oftentimes when we embark upon a new journey in our lives, we're always looking for it to make sense, right? I
Mhm.
need to know that it's lined up, that I have enough money, that I've done the work, that I have the connections, that I have this, and you should, right? We should be intentional to put our best foot forward for whatever it is that we endeavor to do in life. But when it comes to faith, faith doesn't have to make sense,
Mhm.
because if faith makes sense, it's no longer faith, it's sense.
Mhm.
But faith is when we trust, and that we have a blind trust that it's going to work out for us. So it's very important that you put your best foot forward and that you do the work to be as prepared as you can. I'm going to do my best to be all that I can be, to be a good representative of God, to try to live out my purpose the best I can. But there comes a place where my abilities stop and where God abilities pick up. And we have to believe that we that are in Christ, or we that live in Him, that He has our best interest in heart. And we have to trust. I've done my part, God, and I trust that anything that happens from here, anything I endure, anything I go through, if I'm in the center of your will, that you got me. That you got me.
Oh Lord, okay, she's speaking to my spirit today. Okay, because I feel like, and I don't know who out there is listening to this, and this may resonate with you. I feel like sometimes that not sometimes, but a lot of the times, just kind of as an entrepreneur, I stutter step. Like I talk all of this big and bad, like yeah, I'll do it and anything for my business, but there's like a sense of hesitancy because I'm just like, oh well, what if it doesn't work out? What if XYZ? And I was told some time ago that when I start having those feelings too frequently, it's because I've gotten out of touch with my spirit. Because my spirit would be able to tell me if what I was doing was correct or if what I was doing was in alignment with my assignment. And if I was listening to my spirit, it wouldn't be a sense of hesitancy because I'd be doing the things that I was supposed to be doing. And that kind of goes along with what you were saying about having faith. It's like, yeah, I mean, even when I'm really in my spirit, there's a sense of, oh Lord, you're gonna have to take over. But it's relief in that as well, compared to when I'm not walking in the spirit and I'm not in alignment with my assignment. Then everything I do, it feels like it has a lot more tension attached to it because I don't even know if this is what I'm supposed to be doing in general because I'm just not connected with the person who's supposed to be telling me what to do.
You're absolutely correct. Correct. We're a triune being. So we're spirit. We have a spirit, which represents God's will for our life, and then we have a soul, which represents our flesh, what we would like to have, and then we all live in what is called this body. And so every day there's a battle going on. The spirit wants to be dominant, the flesh wants to be dominant, but to be honest, the one that's going to be dominant is the one you feed the most.
Mm.
So if you spend time in prayer, spend time in meditation, spend time in reading the word, spend time in worship, whatever if you feed the spirit part of you, then that spirit part will be dominant. And that's when you can hear God a lot clearer. But if we find ourselves feeding the flesh side, which is our soul, then we'll get into those bouts where we're just a little insecure about whether we're making the right steps and things of that nature. And a lot of times it all comes from fear. Y'all, can you see my shirt?
Uh-huh.
Fear.
Fearless. We love
Fearless.
fear.
Yeah. And so fear comes in, and it just begins to take us off course. When fear comes in, everything gets cloudy. And so this is my brand, by the way,
Okay,
my
hold on.
own
Shout out the
clothing
brand.
line. Just a little shout out. But the
Okay.
reason why I'm wearing Fearless is because during the pandemic, there were many things that happened, and this person died, this person has COVID, this person, and I was getting all out of sorts. And so I began to walk in fear, like what is going to happen next? I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And God doesn't want us to walk in fear. He wants us to walk in faith because he is who he always said he was, and he's in control of it all. And so I started this brand just to be a constant reminder of who God is, and a constant reminder that we can walk fearlessly because we're in him. So when it comes to us wanting to start a new venture, as you said, or comes to us wanting to step out and do something new, it's not uncommon that fear comes.
Mm.
But we have to learn to build up our spirit, man, so that we can hear God clearly. And
Mm-hmm.
like once again, prayer, fasting, praying, meditating, listening to gospel music, whatever centers you with God. Spend time doing that. And even though the doubt can still come, but we start to lean more on God, I give you permission to order my steps in this way.
Mm-hmm. See, I think the biggest thing about faith before we move forward is we as people, we like to have, like you said earlier, it's like we like to have control. We like to know that we got everything, but sometimes it ain't up to us. Like it's really up to somebody else, to something else, something bigger, better than, smarter, wiser, greater than us. And it's just so hard to let go. Like it just be like, ooh, yeah, here it is. It is what it is. So I can say that just on my journey, on my walk, because I mean, everybody, you have to know that spirituality, outside of religion, spirituality is growth. It's growing all the time. It's knowing that, in this season, I learned this, and then it may or may not serve me in this next season. Like it's just a bunch of growth. It's a bunch of growing pains, but you know, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful process. I think this is really timely. I think this is a timely conversation, and this for me and you could quickly become a therapy session.
Yeah, right.
So, before I get to spiraling and crying off these cute lashes that I got from Face Off Boutique, I'm going to move forward to the next question that I have written down here because I could get to crying in a second. All right. How do you personally pray, and how often? What does it look like? What are you asking about?
Well, my prayer is first of all daily.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times we don't know. I'm always sensitive, or I try to be sensitive to what I pray for because I'm not 100% sure that I know what I should be praying for, right? So when I pray, I oftentimes give God permission to have his way in my life. Give God permission to order my steps. Give God permission to open any doors that I need to walk through and to shut and put a deadbolt on the things that I don't need to be dealing with because we're human, right? We have emotions and we have our own will, and we like them so much. But God is like, but I'm trying to move you somewhere else they can't go.
Oh,
So when
my
I pray, I try to posture myself really in a submissive posture with God, saying, God, do what you got to do with me. So that when those adversities come and all those things that I don't want to come into my life, I'm like, God, I asked you. I gave you permission to take over. So anything that comes, I know you in it with me, and I know whatever it is, maybe there's a lesson I need to learn. Maybe it's some bad seeds I sowed that I'm reaping the harvest of. Whatever it is, the lesson, I'm gonna learn it because God says that he can work it all out for your good
God.
in the end. So when I pray, I do pray daily, and it's just a conversation with God. Like, look, today, because I have affirmations. That's another thing about me. Those
Mm-hmm.
little stickies that I have them.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, God, today I'm going to kick down every door of opportunity you send my way. I'm going through. I'm not going to let fear paralyze me.
Oh,
I'm
that's
not going to allow the way I feel to stop me from your mission. Because at the end of the day, if we think about it, it's all about your why. And it's a great perspective to have. So everybody, let me get your attention. It's about your why.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes we make what we do about how we feeling. Do we have this in place? Are we ready? And all of that. And that's good for us to want to be as prepared as we can. But at the end of the day, why do you do what you do?
Hmm.
What is this podcast? And I'm not asking you to answer me, but what is
Mm-hmm.
this podcast designed to do?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you really take your eyes off you and your abilities or the lack thereof, and you begin to keep your eyes or be laser focused on why you do what you do, then it'll change. For instance, if I'm called to empower, educate, and encourage women to overcome their obstacles, then I can't worry about if I have the right lighting, if I got the right this and that, because at the
Oh
end of the
my
day,
gosh.
there is a woman out there that needs to know that they can overcome that thing, whether they did it themselves, whether it's just an experience that was inflicted upon them, that they need to know they're not disqualified from purpose because of it, and I need to tell them that. So if
Oh my
even if everything is
God.
not working out, I need to keep my attention on why I do what I do. What am I called to do? And if you do that, that other stuff won't take the front seat so much because it's easy. You want to have an excellent podcast. You want to do everything in decency and in order. But
Ooh, mm.
sometimes we major on that, and what's major is the purpose of it all. And we put that on the back seat because we want things to look a certain way and be a certain way. And we
Mhm.
should strive for excellence. I'm big on excellence. But
Y'all,
at the end of the day, not to a fault where the mission gets lost.
this was a read like out of this world. So I'm gonna touch a few things. First thing that I'm gonna touch is the way that I pray. So personally, like I said, I pray every day, or at least I try to, because sometimes just charge it to my head, not my heart. It gets away from me. But I know that, or I notice that when I pray every morning and I find this sense of sincerity, I get into a place where I can say, Lord, I am just so thankful to be able to see. There are people that can't even see right now, and I'm over here looking at my son. I'm so thankful for that. I'm so thankful to be able to see his smile, to hear his laugh. Like I just start, like I allow my body to sense the things that I love the most, to see, to smell, to taste, to feel. Like I allow myself to go there, and once I get there, I get more appreciative of having my senses, and that's just my senses. And then I start moving into like the things that I actually tangibly have. Like I have a car and I can drive and I can do these things. And so it makes it easier for me to say, like, you know what? Even though I don't have the things that I know you want from me yet, I'm thankful for everything that I have right now. And I can tell that I've gotten away from being sincere about being thankful, because anytime I stop being sincere about being thankful, the things that I'm thankful for start leaving me.
Mm.
And it's just like, wow, like God, I'm sorry for taking it for granted. Like, just forgive me. And now my prayer goes from being thankful to forgiveness. And like it's really deep the way that, I try to connect and I try to be spiritual. And like I said, all of this is a journey, and it didn't happen overnight. I'm 20 plus. And so it didn't happen overnight. And I'm not even gonna say it happened when I got to 25 the first time. It just it it took some time. But I will say that was a read, because when I first started, I started on Instagram Live. I just had my phone, and before I even started, I kept telling people, I did a podcast like a long time ago, like when I was 18 years old. And I was like, it was when people wasn't even podcasting at all. And I was like, man, I'm tired. Like, I don't want to do this. People ain't listening. Like, we talking. And they were listening, which was the crazy part. They was actually listening. And that's how I even got all of the followers that I got, because I was podcasting. But I didn't look at it like that then. I just looked at it like, it is what it is. I'm tired. I'm bored, moving forward. So then I got this little my speed right, and it was like, you got to do something. I was like, no, I don't want to do that no more. And it was like, you got to do something. I was like, nah, I'm for real. I'm good. And then I got pregnant. And in that whole time, I was really in a really, really, really dark place, and nobody ever really knew that. But I was dark, and I needed an outlet. So as soon as my son was born and I started getting my life back together, it kind of became clear to me. And that's when I went. That's when I met Jay So Famous, my professor slash homegirl. That's when I met her, and she kind of pulled me out of that dark place and said, "Hey, nah, you supposed to be talking. People are supposed to listen to you." And bringing myself back in front of the camera, back in front of a microphone was probably the best thing that I could have ever did, because now more than ever, I get DMs talking about how there are women that are, early 20s or in their 25 pluses that are thankful that I even did it again, or that I even started, or that I'm even doing something, because it's just like, you're doing what I want to do, and seeing you do it gives me the courage to want to do it. And I started on my phone, like by myself. Like when I first started podcasting, I was podcasting with a group of people, and I thought that was always what you needed, was like a group of people, a production, a big old thing. But then I just said, no, like I'm supposed to do this. And God, I don't know what's next, but we're going to get there one at a time. Started on my phone with a ring light. Then I went from a ring light to a real light. Then I went from my phone to a camera. Then I had somebody come in with their camera. Then they left. Then I thought the world was over. Came back, did it again. Like, it was like, and now I'm here. And like today, I had technical difficulties, but it didn't stop the show. Any other time, I would have felt defeated. But now, because I know I'm in alignment with my assignment, I don't even really feel good today. And I don't stop, because I know this is in alignment with my assignment. I'm supposed to be doing this. So I don't care if, like, literally, this is probably the most that I've talked today. Okay. I haven't even felt that good. But when I'm in alignment with my assignment, baby, I could put on the happy face, because it's time to go. This ain't for me.
Right.
This is part of my purpose. And so it's what I have to do. So I got the strength. Okay. So I think that was a full read. She read me from top to bottom, and I'm not talking about her last name. Okay. Moving forward. And last question. If you could give any advice to anyone struggling with becoming connected with their spirit, what would it be?
Great question. I would say do what connects you to that spirit. And I talked about that already. If there's someone saying, I want to get close, I get this question, I want to be closer to God, but I don't know what to do. So, what inspires you? What inspires you in your life? Some people are inspired by music.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are inspired by quiet time. Some people are inspired by reading, by watching sermons or whatever. Whatever that thing is that gets you centered and connected, I would say do more of that. Maybe when you're in your car, you can put on some spiritual music, or a spiritual podcast, or a sermon, or whatever it is. But if you want to walk in your spirit, you have to feed your spirit man, because whichever one you feed, that's the one that's going to grow. So what does it do for you? Sometimes yoga, when people have that quiet time to just step away from the hustle and bustle of feeding family, working, doing this and doing that, it centers them so that the things that should matter begins to matter.
Have y'all done yoga? Like,
I did it one time. I did restorative, and it was amazing. I fell asleep because I'm always on the go, always have something going on. So I
see,
needed that time.
and for me, like, okay, so I went to yoga when I was going through something. And I'm talking about, it ain't nobody there but you. You, yourself, your
Right.
mind, your body, and your alignment. I mean, I was in this pose, and I just said, and then she was like, it's okay. I was like, girl, you don't even know. I done had a whole revelation over here right in this pose. It's because you really have to connect with yourself. And a lot of people, like, if you're not ready to get in tune with yourself, do not be trying yoga.
Yeah, yeah, because
Don't hold your butt out.
it's gonna drown out all the outside noise, all of that, and you have the opportunity to really focus on you, focus, and your mind gets clear and things of that nature. So when it comes to someone that wants to walk in the spirit or be more in tune with their spirit, then you have to feed it. And it
Mhm.
just it's like weights. The more I lift weights, guess what? The stronger my muscles are gonna be, or whatever exercises I do, the stronger those muscles in that area is gonna be because I'm working them out. It's the same thing in the spirit realm. You can't expect to walk in the spirit strong,
Mm,
or supernaturally if you don't spend time intentionally feeding that. And that's just exposing yourself to the things of God. It could just be sitting on Facebook and watching videos or whatever it is. It might just be taking a Bible. I tell you, someone told me this. I want to read the Bible, but I open the Bible. I don't know what in the world it's talking about. And I said, I felt that way years ago. And what I did was I said, I'm going to look for somebody in the Bible that I admire, and I'm going to read their story from birth to death. And David was that person because he's the only person that the Bible records is a man after God's own heart. And he made a lot of mistakes. He was an adulterer, a murderer. He did all sorts of things. But the reason why the Bible records him as that is because he knew how to go to God and to repent and not make that mistake again. So that was my way of connecting with the word in a way that made sense. I read the story. I read First Samuel when he was born all the way to when he died. And so I had a bigger, that was a revelation. So that's just a little tip to someone that wants to read the Bible. And of course they have scriptures about certain topics and things of that nature. So to answer your question, when you asked what can you do to be more in tune with your spirit? Find the things that feed it. It could be just going to church if
mhm.
your church is open, or going to someone that you revere as spiritual and just having some conversations, and you can get some revelation from that. And so you'll know what feeds your spirit the most. And I would say keep doing that, and you'll find God starting to speak with you more and starting to direct your paths. You'll start pray for a spirit of discernment. I can walk in the room. I read the room spiritually. I don't say nothing, but I read the room. My husband's looking at me like, "You feeling something?" I was like, and it's just a gift that God has blessed me with. I love it because I want to know what I'm faced with. I want to know what I'm dealing with. I don't want to be blindly uh in situations. And so yeah, just whatever centers you, feed that. And
Mm.
you'll get closer and closer, and God's revelation will be greater and greater in your life.
Y'all, this was a beautiful conversation, and I'm certain that it might have been for somebody else, but I'm 100% sure that this conversation is for me. Like, yeah, there's no doubt that this this was my conversation to be had. This was very telling. Um However, I'm very thankful for this conversation. So, moving forward, this is the portion of the show. It's called Grab Your Wine. It's story time. So, here is where I will read a story and
Okay.
we will solicit our advice. And you'll go first.
Okay.
Alrighty. It says, Dear Savon, my birthday just passed and my boyfriend did not plan for me at all. When the day came, he said, We can do whatever you want to do today. And we did, but I'm a little unsure. I went all out for his birthday, and he told me no one had ever cared that much. I did everything that I wanted on my birthday that was reasonable. That was a reasonable budget, but because he was so vague, I didn't truly know what that meant. I turned 25 this year. I hate to say that I didn't bring it in with a bang. Should I be upset with him or am I tripping?
So great story. I think I would say it's important that when you're in relationships with people that you know your personnel. And I like to parallel that with a football game or something like that. That quarterback knows who he can throw the ball to in clutch situations and things of that nature. You have to, if you're in relationship with people, it's not about what you think they should do, but it's more about knowing them and knowing what it is that they would do. Now, can you educate them on the things you like best? I've been married to my husband for 28 years. So I don't have no problem telling them, when you do that, I don't like that, but I would prefer if you like that. Sometimes we sit back and we don't want to have those conversations, and then we judge people for not being the way we expected them to be or doing what we thought they should have done. And where in your life, if your boyfriend's birthday came, you will go all out for them because that's you, but you cannot assume that they will go all out for you. That may not be something that they've experienced. So I would say open the communication channels and get to know them, get to know what their life has been like, what is valuable for them might not be what's valuable to you. The fact that he said to you, today's your birthday, whatever you want to do, let's do it. That may have been big for him. But
Mhm.
you're sitting back like, I did what I wanted to do, but where's the bang to all of this? Where's that the present, or what have you? So I don't want you to discredit them in relationship. And of course, I'm 50 plus, right?
All right
So I'm
now.
sure you have a different. I look good, don't I?
Man.
But I'm sure.
I didn't give you Nilly.
And Chanel is my baby boy. But
Oh, really?
I would say that's a mistake that a lot of us make in relationships. We hold people to a standard that we don't take out the time to see if that's a part of their standard.
Mhm.
So if we communicate and we make it known our expectations, the things we like, and then they still don't do it, then I would say that's a conversation to be had. But if you never had the conversation, you never told him what you expected, and he didn't do it, I wouldn't totally discredit the relationship because of it.
Okay, so here's me.
I want to hear your perspective.
Me
You're
and
a
my
different
little
generation than me.
me and my youth, cause girl,
Right.
don't let me lead you around the path, but you're gonna write into me, and I'm gonna give you what I feel. Um, um, I think first things first, like you were saying, that communication is a big thing. I personally, in my relationships, what I require, if I'm dating somebody, I require them to take the love language test. Okay.
Okay.
And the
Good.
reason I require them to do that is because I know my love languages. I know that I'm a words of affirmation person. I know that I am an acts of service person. I know that for a fact. I don't have to second guess it. I know these things about me. I like gifts. I don't love gifts. The things that I prefer are what I prefer. Okay. But I've noticed that when I was dating, I did the love language test, and I would let men do it, and then theirs would come out however they would come out, and they would try to love me in their love language,
Right.
which is not the way that this goes. I love you in yours, you love me in mine. So I feel like on one end, maybe what he did could have been his love language. And that's not a fault of his. That's depending on how long y'all been together, it's gonna take time for you to unteach him those things. Like we as people have to unteach behaviors that they may or may not have gotten away with when they were with somebody else. So you just have to tell him like, hey, that may be something that you like, but it's not nothing that I'm into, and that's okay. Like I just didn't appreciate that, especially if you're like a gift giver and you were expecting, excuse me, a receiver, like you like gifts. That probably would have really been a bummer. Like
Yeah.
to get to your birthday and not get a gift. Wow, ugh. Like I'd hate that for you. But me as somebody who loves words of affirmation and acts of service, you telling me let's do whatever? Like cool. Like I can understand not having a budget because then that kind of makes you think like, did you really plan this, or is this just something you doing because you didn't do anything? Like I could see
Yeah.
how that could look like
I
last
can see
minute
that
real
too.
quickly.
I can see that.
But it's like either way, I would have did the most expensive thing ever.
Well,
And that's just
I think we both touching on the same thing. Let it be known what your love language is, and that's so commendable that you do that test so that people know what it looks like for you. My husband is a diva. He's real. He love nice things. I'm not
like,
criticizing him, but I'm more of a bring me a basket of my favorite soda and my favorite. I'm more of a touchy feely type person. Where him, so I know for his birthday, I
go
better
all
have
out.
saved some money for Gucci.
Listen, I don't know
That's
what
his
it is,
language.
but like literally the past 2 years and the person that I've dated, I was like, dang, like what the heck? Like you're expensive. Like, oh my God, why you don't ever want a gift that's like not that? Like, can we
Thank
just
you.
then a
And
decent
then if you're like, if it's okay, it's okay. No, it's not. Don't do that. No,
don't
I
be
know that
telling
he
me what
likes
you
nice
need.
things, so I do it for him. I get stuff for him that I don't get for me, not because I can't, but because it doesn't matter that much to me. That's just what he likes. And so when you're in a relationship, you should care about what makes your mate happy. But then at the end of the day, your mate has to be transparent enough to make it known
Mhm.
what makes them happy, and then we just feed into each other like that. So yeah.
At the end of the day, homegirl, you can be 25 as long as you want to be, okay? So if you want to try it again next year, hell, if you want to try it again next week, go ahead and give it your best shot. Girl, you right into me. This is what you're going to get. You're going to get transparency. You should have spent the money up. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. That was grab your wine story time, and now we are to the wine down. This is typically where I tell you the wine of the day, but the wine of the day today is what ta 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 ta. And I told y'all before in the last show, the reason that I'm drinking water is because I am giving up wine. I love wine. Like, I don't drink it for this show. Like, I drink it because I like wine. I go wine tasting. Like, that's something that I like to do. So I had to give up wine to get to my weight goals. And I'm not upset about it. I'm really happy and I'm getting closer. So I'm one step closer to the bottle of wine that I have for my birthday. So we getting there, y'all. So shout out to our sponsors, Complete Magazine. For all of what makes Dallas complete, be sure to check out www.kompletemagazine.com. This is my favorite portion of the show, and you're Nilly's mom. And I'm so sorry, Nilly, that I'm about to say what I'm about to say, but I have to say it because it's part of my show. And I apologize to you right now. So, this part of the show is called Let That Shit Go. And let that shit go is the part of the show where we have to let go of something that no longer serves us. So, what are you letting go of today?
Oh goodness, there's a list, but I have a saying that I'm not available for that. So that's something that I adopted back in December, where I'm not available for that. So if someone wants to have a conversation that's negative, I'm not available for negativity today. If my husband is saying something and I'm not available for this, we're not about to do this. No, I get to choose the environment. I want an environment of peace. I want an environment that fosters where I'm going and what I want to do. Positivity, positive vibes over here. So let that shit go. My shit is I'm not available for negativity. It's negativity. I don't have time. I'm grown. I'm 52 years, almost 52 years old. I don't have time to talk about this. I don't care what her shoes look like, what she said. She don't like me. I could care less. I don't have time for it. So that's what
Mm,
my shit is, negativity. And so
I
my
love that.
phrase is I'm not available for it. I don't care what it is. And when I was in the grocery store and they told me my total, I say I'm not available for this price.
You're gonna have to get somebody else because I'm not available for that.
I think you didn't put my discount in something. I'm not available for this.
I got a
And
coupon.
so yeah, you get to choose. You get to choose the environment you want to
Mm.
be in. I don't care whether you're married, whether you have kids. You get to choose for you. Because if I don't take care of me, I'm no good for anyone else. So I get to say, you can come this far, but no further. It's
I
it.
love it. I
I'm
love
drawing a thick line.
it. I can already tell I'm gonna have to rewatch this and write down. Like I'm gonna have to listen to write down this next time I watch this because baby, I'm not available for that. And
Mm-mm.
I can tell you right now, when I get off of this, it's somebody I'm gonna have to let know, sweetie. I'm not available for that. Cause you was reading me earlier, and I mean it done caught up to me, and my favorite part of the daggone show. But what am I gonna let go of this week, you guys? Um, it's funny. Y'all I'm gonna have to let go of these box braids, baby. I've been hanging on tight to these.
They're cute.
I gotta let them go. My whole edges is coming out. And I was just sick as a dog because I really wanted to have these like at least one more week. But one of these braids is barely holding on. They sliding to my girl. If you don't let us go, oh, I wanted you to stay for a week. So
Just one more week. One more.
like if I pull this one right now, you're gonna be like, girl, you're gonna have to let it go. Everybody looking at me like, let it go. The braids and whisper to me, you know they on my head. But it's the braids, y'all. I'm gonna have to let them go. So if you let something go, you know you have to drink to that. And I'll drink to that is the part of the show where we celebrate something about you. So what would you like us to celebrate about you this week?
How about let's celebrate that I recently retired from corporate America as a corporate instructor at a Fortune 500 company. I said I've worked years and years and years, almost 20 years, supporting their vision. I'm going to step out on faith and support my own vision. So I stepped out, started my own speaking. I was already speaking, but my own speaking business, encouragement, empowerment. I already had my nonprofit organization, and I'm going to bet on me in this season. I also create all my clothes. So I have a t-shirt business and things of that nature. So I just said in this season, I'm a bet on me. I'm a firm believer that what you make happen for someone else, God will make happen for you. So 17 years I made it happen for Fortune 500 corporate America. And so this next season is all for Relly. Let me get my picture with my wine glass. There I go. Cute,
Oh,
right?
that's cute. That's so cute. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna have to get one. I got to get one of those. Put my face on it. That's cute.
So that's what I'm gonna drink too.
Celebrating
Betting
that.
on me. Betting on me.
I'm rooting for you. I am rooting for you because if you ain't do nothing else, you could really speak because you spoke over my whole life today. So I know that's going up. I know for a fact that's going up. Hello. I'll drink today. When am I celebrating this week? You guys. So I'm extremely private. But I really want to share this with y'all. I recently made the decision to homeschool my child because of the COVID rates. And I got a lot of backlash from it from a lot of people. And because I did, it made me really nervous and it made me like second guess, like, am I doing what I'm supposed to do? Like, Lord, please let me know that I'm not about to ruin my child. I know that I can teach him. I know that I can do this. I know it, but why does everybody around me kind of doubt what I'm doing and think that this ain't right? So we are officially in day 3 of homeschooling, and it is going extremely well. And I'm really proud of my son for adjusting. So I'll drink to that.
I want to drink to that. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Told y'all we was gonna have a guest.
Congratulations to you for that. Hi.
All right, hold on.
Do you remember the Mighty Pups? They're so mighty.
Oh no, I don't. Can you go back to your room?
Not like Jesus.
Okay.
Congratulations on that. Oftentimes people have issues with homeschooling because they don't understand everything that's involved. It doesn't mean your child won't be social. You take them to the park, you take them out to be social. So they just think you're just keeping them inside and they're not going to live in the regular world, but that's not true. So you keep going. You do what's best for your child. God gave you your child to be the best steward over, and whatever you feel is best for him in this environment, do it, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I
I
really
don't think I could have homeschooled Nelly. He was in sports. He had to go. No.
uh-uh, uh-uh. Y'all, I'm not about to sit up here in front with y'all and be like, oh, it's so easy, it's a breeze.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Out. But it is what it is. But I'm thankful to be able to do it. I'm thankful that I have patience, and I just know that I'm doing what's right in the climate that we're in. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm still happy, and we still going, y'all. So last things last, how can we find you?
Well, I'm in Facebook. I mean, Facebook at Sherelle Alexander Reed, but right here on the page on Instagram, I'm at Sherelle Reed. That's the best place to go because in my bio, I have my link tree that has everything about my organization, everything about my coaching services, everything about all of my social media handles, my nonprofit. Everything is in that link tree. So if you go to Instagram and go to at Sherelle Reed, you can find out how to get in contact with me and anything that I have going on.
All right, y'all. And for me, you can follow me on all social media platforms at 2 SEVON. And be sure to follow us for all things complete on social media at Complete Magazine on all platforms. Check out our website, www.kompletemagazine.com. That's complete with a K, to find out all of what makes Dallas complete. Shout out to our sponsors, Face Off Boutique, where everything on the site is $30 or less. That's beauty on a budget. Be sure to check out www.faceoffboutique.com. And shout out to our sister company and sponsor, Say My Name Media. Are you looking to increase your online presence? Be sure to check out Say My Name Media for all your graphic, web design, photography, and videography needs. I want to thank you so much for joining us. I was read like a book.
No.
I am so glad we got to talk about push. I am so glad that we got to talk about faith and how stepping out on faith looks like tuning in with yourself and figuring out what is for you, what makes you happy, and what makes you release those things that keep you from God. And I am so glad that we had that conversation because it made me look at myself and I don't like what I see in the mirror.
Can I tell you one other thing, Savine?
Uh-huh.
Are you here in the DFW area?
I am.
Oh, I didn't know. Well,
Yeah.
my organization this weekend is having what is called Purpose, Perspectives, and Pajamas. It's a vision event, pajama party out in Plano, Texas. I would love for your listeners, if you have anyone that's interested, once again, go to the Instagram and click on that link tree, and we have registrations only $25. Come out, be inspired, and bring your girls and put your PJs on.
Oh, okay. Hold on, because your girl, she's kind of shut in, but I'll get out now. I'm really excited, especially because you just filled my whole spirit. So definitely gonna try to make it out there this weekend. Yes, ma'am. Y'all be sure
we have COVID protocols in place, but once you go to the website, you'll see all that.
Oh, you already know I'm gonna be masked up. It is not a game. I'm not playing with Miss Corona. She is a beast, and I don't play with her.
Ridiculous.
But I want to thank you so much again. That was really a great conversation. It really did feed my spirit. I hope that you all fed your spirit as well. I cannot wait for the speaker next week, y'all. Y'all be sure to take a look at the flyer for next week because we're here every Wednesday at 7, every single Wednesday at 7. So until next time, y'all, I'll grab the wine. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, have a good night. Y'all have a good night.